What's up, guys? Cameron Wood here, REMIX supported professional BMX racer.
On your number 12 bike, out of Phoenix, Arizona, by way of Montana, Mongoose Bicycles, USABMX Foundation, the Cowboy, Cameron Wood.
REMIX factory rider on the amateur side.
Coming out of lane number 5, out of Scottsdale, Arizona, for REMIX BMX, Jonathan Madero.
Today we're covering the REMIX Pro Series hoops, 32 and 36 hole. I got Cam with me today. He's been on the hoops for 2 years now? Year and a half maybe?
2 years, yep.
Yep, so he's been riding those for a while. I've been on them for close to 3. So we got a little bit of experience. I'm a little bit more on the techie side. Cam's a big feel guy, so I think we got a good little grasp on what we're gonna talk about and kind of go over why we think this is one of the better wheels you can get on the market and why you should look at it for your next wheel set.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you jumped off aluminum hoops straight to these carbon fiber hoops. What are some differences you felt? Go over that a little bit.
Yeah, so I've been pretty much on a similar aluminum frame my entire professional career. Signed with Mongoose for 2020, so on the frame side, not much has changed. We've done some product development, developed a stiffer bike. And yeah, I was on aluminum hoops the first 2 years of my professional career, but when I switched to carbon, it really kind of changed the complexion of my bike and a lot of the sensations I feel when I'm riding, right? I felt like everything became a little more receptive. The bike naturally responded a little bit more to my movements and just felt a little bit more effortless to get the bike to do what I wanted it to do, which is cool, right? When you don't have to necessarily make that change on a frame. I've always been partial to aluminum. I think, with Mongoose, we've created something that's good for everyone from the intermediate level, novice level to expert level, and even at the professional level. But I would say, switching to these rims, it was a game changer in terms of how my bike responded to quick movements on the track, especially stiffness, getting out of the gate, getting down the hill.
Yeah, I mean, one thing for a lot of people, if you've never been on carbon, there's always been in the past concern about just the cracking or blowing up, and I think that's kind of gone away now. I think everybody's got a grip on it. I mean, manufacturing has changed and it's more BMX focused, and you need these sidewalls to handle the load that BMX is going to give it, because you pump 80 psi in your tires, 90 psi. Second you start riding and you're landing jumps, you're putting a lot more pressure on there.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, these are definitely a lot more durable than wheels of the past.
Yeah.
But going into a little bit more of the tech stuff, like, I don't know if this is something that you can really feel going from one to another, but this is one thing performance-wise that it does. And I know you're a big measure your tire guy whenever it's aired up, right?
Yeah.
So that's how you get your true rollout, the true tire diameter. So these are going to be REMIX specific. They're going to run a little bit wider. I don't have the measurement off the top of my head, but so inner width, it's going to be just a little wider. What that's going to do is pull your tire apart a bit. And it's going to make your tire stand a little taller, actually. So it's kind of backwards where you think it's closer. It's going to pinch it more, be taller. Mm-hmm. Actually, if it's a little wider, it's going to stand a little taller. So you're going to get a little bit more tire height, which it'll round out the top of that tire a little bit more, which that's more traction too. So, I mean, even with the benefits that Cam's talking about with stiffness and all that going around the track, around a turn, down the hill, you also get a little bit more of a tire patch. So that's more traction. So
does the circumference of the tire become a little bit wider when you make that switch to carbon hoops typically?
It's different. There's actually carbon hoops that run a little bit more narrow.
Okay. So it just depends on the wheel.
Yeah, so from what I've seen, these are definitely a bit wider on the inside.
Yeah. So
you're going to get that benefit of that little bit of tire patch. And in my opinion, this looks cooler whenever your tire looks big and round like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sweet look.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, talking more about just specific tech to REMIX. So some companies have been going to the tubeless stuff. REMIX with their newest line of the Pro Series hoops, they've gone with tubeless. So you're gonna have that tubeless groove in there, and still with hookless, so it's grabbing that rim. But with that one, you can go tubeless. You've gone tubeless before. Yeah. It's got its pros and cons, whether you like it or not. Like if you have a lot of thorns at your track, that's go tubeless, man.
Yeah.
Like, stop spending a bunch of money on tubes. There's the concern of traveling's a little hard. You got to deflate the tires and then trust that bead's gonna seal whenever you air it up with your bike pump.
Yeah.
BMX tires aren't really made to go tubeless. There's a few on the market, but yeah, just the high pressure tubeless is kind of a tough game. But tubeless in general is still great. You're gonna be able to have that lip there. That's gonna hold a tire a lot better. I know I'm showing you guys, can't really see that close, but there's this lip. Once you air up the tire, it's gonna slide up in and pinch into that grip, and it's gonna hold the tire a little tighter than a normal rim is going to. So what does that mean? That means your tire's on there perfectly centered, not perfectly close to perfect. Nothing's ever gonna be perfect. But you don't want a bouncy tire, right? You spin your wheel, you don't want that bike to be bouncing around. You want it center of the hub, always needs to be the center of the hub whenever you're riding the bike. Same goes whether or not the wheel's true, but doesn't matter, we don't have any hubs on this thing right now.
Yeah. No, personally, I ran tubes for the last 3 years. I played around with tubeless setups a little bit. And an issue I ran into in the past with other carbon hoops is the sidewall would cut into the tires after a while. And so for that reason, I switched like a thicker tire, thought maybe tubeless would help. Since I switched to REMIX, I run Tubolitos, one of the lightest tubes on the market. And I have never had one instance, where I've had sidewall issues cutting into the tire, causing flats. So that's another pro. Like since I switched to REMIX, I have not had that issue.
Yeah, you're on the Aspect tires, which is
Thin
probably
sidewall.
the thinnest sidewall on the market. I mean, absolutely great tire, but
Yeah.
yeah, that has been a real problem with that rim bite into that tire. It's going to tear that sidewall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would agree. Concern kind of gone with the REMIX. It seems to be a nice rounded edge. It still has that hook, which you want that hook. That's going to hold that tire in while you're cornering, pulling, what is the pro pulling, like 3 Gs in a corner?
Yeah, I'm not
know.
sure. I'm not sure.
You're probably pushing about 1.5 more of your body weight, so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you want those tires to hold onto that rim and the tire not to be moving around. Going into more of just the tech side, you talked about tubes a little bit, so you can run Schrader or Presta, so if you got a preference, you get to pick. So, and there's actually more valves coming on the market, so this is fully capable of handling all the valves. Yeah, we talked 32, 36, so you've had a little bit of experience testing both actually.
Yeah.
You currently run both on your bike.
Yep. So I was I think I was standard 36 hole front and back for a while, my first few years. We actually did this. This is a custom painted front wheel. This is 32 hole. I made that change a few months leading into the Olympics in Paris. Wanted to shave a little weight on the front end.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the motivation behind it. I have had no issues at all, and I fully trust the 32 hole carbon rim. I think even moving forward, I consider doing it on the back if they make a hub compatible for that.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess I probably shouldn't talk about that because that's on
No, you
next.
can
Yeah.
talk about whatever.
I would just say, yeah. I mean, I've had from a durability standpoint, I switch them out usually every 6 to 8 months, but I have had not a single issue with these rims since I started running them. I've cased jumps very hard. I've ridden on all kinds of tracks, different speeds, right? Your American style track, your supercross tracks. Made a lot of mistakes, and these have been really forgiving. I haven't had any issues, haven't had any blow ups. When you travel as much as we do, you don't always have tools and resources on hand. So to have that freedom and that trust in your product is key.
Yeah. And you're a rim brake guy, so you're putting a little bit more beating on these wheels
Yeah.
than most people have. You've been on the same back wheel for quite a while.
Yep.
So obviously you're going to have to run your carbon brake pads, but yeah, you've been on the same wheels. You have a few. I mean, professional guy over here. Yeah, I mean, you're putting quite a wear on those, and like I'm just going to go back and feel like not even really much of a lip. Like definitely getting to the point of where you should make the switch, but
but I mean, once again, I ran that same wheel set at the Olympics in August last year, so we're talking 8 months almost. I've had no issues whatsoever, and then even I've always been a V-brake person. That's a cool part about REMIX too. A lot of carbon wheel set companies, they don't really make a V-brake compatible rim. It can be disc only. I just like how simple a V-brake is. Once again, I think about, the traveling and convenience aspect more than anything. Not a huge difference weight-wise, and the V-brake setup on the REMIX has been perfect. The pads that come with it has a good feel. It doesn't really feel like a carbon kind of cork type texture when you pull the brake. Good stopping power, and yeah, just kind of been playing around with towing them in, and there's no noise either. So from a V-brake standpoint, they work great too.
I don't want to get too much into the brake pads, but just are they replacement pads?
Yeah,
you can replace the pads too, so you can keep that actual
I believe
brake
so,
surface, and then I would assume REMIX sells those.
Yeah,
the replacement pads.
absolutely. And that once on the pads as well, like I think those REMIX specific pads have lasted longer for me than other ones too. Like I ran a wine cork type texture for a while, and those lasted me a couple weeks. These REMIX ones I can have on for 2 to 3 months before switching them out, which is good. But I don't really ride with the finger on the brake, so maybe that's why.
We definitely hear them at the finish line. Before you put them in and
sometimes,
it's now
we're
all good now. We figured it out.
Yeah.
Little mess around. I ran them too, and I would agree. Like not noisy. They're not too soft. They're not too hard. Like the happy medium. But and just going into some last few things. So cams on the earlier batch. So these are one thing. So these are getting close to over a year old, I'm sure. On the newest one, if you can see from here, you got offset holes. So how does this affect the rider? It doesn't affect the rider at all. It actually affects whoever's building your wheel. If you're building your own wheel, you're gonna love this. If you've ever put a spoke and nipple through here and you're trying to thread it in, it's quite a pain in the butt with the angle. So now you got their offset. So
I like that.
Yeah, whenever you put it in, much easier to thread in. Like I said, doesn't affect the performance of the wheel, just helps your mechanic. You bring these into your mechanic, and he's gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is the best 20-inch wheel I've ever put together. Also profile, these aren't tall at all, like top of rim to bottom of rim.
Yeah, I love that, man.
Yeah.
That was one of the things keeping me from running carbon, is just when you have this super thick profile and it just kind of fills up your bike and it doesn't really look as mean.
Definitely from a look perspective, this is cleaner, it's more traditional
sleek.
BMX.
Yeah.
I mean, just talking about the logos too, like before I was even affiliated with REMIX at all, I just like saw these wheels and was like, that's a clean logo. Like it doesn't scream a brand, it's not all crazy colors, it's 2 tones, nice and simple.
Color options too.
Yeah, color options too. We'll jump into that for a second. I'm going to keep talking about the profile, but so one thing on profile, I keep saying profile. This one's probably a better scientific term for it, but this rim height right here, rim depth maybe it's called, but the taller you get, you're getting a little more stiffer. You're not going to get that flex in the wheel as much. Now I know BMXers are all about, oh, no flex. I got the stiffest bike on the market. I got the stiffest parts. That's what I want to put on. Guys, stiffness, great. You want a stiff riding machine. It's not a mountain bike, it's not a road bike. We're putting some watts on these bikes. You still got to think you're not going in a straight line all the time. You're kind of coming off lip sometimes at a little bit of angle, pushing off the lip, scrubbing, whatever you're doing, cornering hard. You want a little give on that bike. And these wheels give just enough. You can play with the spoke tension too to get that little bit of movement in the wheel, but it's definitely not like the aluminum wheel like he was talking, where you get a little bit more movement down. I mainly noticed it doing sprints down the hill.
Yeah, I would say applying power was the biggest thing. And I think right away from the get-go, the most noticeable thing was just getting out of the gate, getting into the acceleration. The bike felt more stable underneath me. The power transfer just felt better.
I think they definitely found a good depth for the rim between, this is too tall, goofy looking, this looks like a time trial road bike, and it's definitely not a freestyle wheel where we're not going to be doing 360s, and we don't need that flex off the wheel to handle that kind of rotation. So we'll finish off with colors. Holding the orange one here, so this is the newest batch. Any of these new REMIX scoops you're going to get is going to be available in these colors and with all the features I've showed here.
And available in 32 and 36 hole, correct?
Yep, 32 and 36. This is for the Pro Series. I would assume if you're a little guy, it might come in the mini, and I think there's a junior size as well. But you got white, orange, and there's a pink option too. I don't have the pink on hand, but yeah, I mean, somebody had asked if there's blue, and I think I love blue, so blue would be awesome. The problem is you start holding all these in stock, you gotta hold X amount of each color, and just the demand has to be there. So I think, I mean, as the company grows and they sell more products, you'll start to see more growth in color options. And I mean, honestly, it'd be cool to have just like different than just black too. Like I've seen some white rims and rims that are kind of sweet.
Yeah, no, it's cool that they're giving everyone options, and I think also with the partnership with Mongoose and the Remix Factory team too, like the white and orange looks really good with the new title series coming soon. So I'm sure you'll see people, especially on the Remix team, running different rims, and it's going to look sleek and clean with the bike. And I'll even play around with it a little bit as well. So I got to get some more laps in on these custom ones for a while. But now I'm looking forward to getting on those. Yeah, getting.
I'd love to see you on some pink ones, honestly.
Maybe October breast cancer awareness.
Yeah, you rock some pink gear. Gear that has pink on it for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know some of you team boys, you guys love the pink, so get on that. Yeah, I think this is something we should do more often. We definitely run a lot of the same products, so we should kind of run through them. Yeah, I think one of these frames would be good to talk about. I'm going to do a video in the future talking about the entire REMIX wheel set. There's a lot to over here, but we tackled the hoops already, so in that video, that takes away a lot of time. So yeah, I think we should talk about some frame stuff.
Yeah.
Handlebars, you got handlebars.
Absolutely, yeah, handlebars coming. No, I'm just a big advocate, I think, for carbon parts in general, right? Like not everyone can afford, carbon frames are getting very expensive. Someone that's raced my entire professional career on an aluminum bike, I think these carbon parts, the box components, REMIX on my bike, really has given me that element where it's like, I don't know how much stiffer I'd even want my setup to be. So I feel like I've been able to find this happy medium. Biggest noticeable change I've made was just shifting from that aluminum to carbon rim right away. Felt more comfortable and receptive, and meaning like it just felt like it required less effort to get the bike to do what I wanted it to do, whether it's a tap manual, quick movements, sudden movements, entering turns, handling the G-forces, carving into a turn, entering a turn. Right away from the get-go, it wasn't really something I had to adapt to or transition. It just felt natural. It felt like the bike was responding to what I wanted it to do more.
Would you have had carbon hoops before in the past?
Yeah.
You kind of moved back and forth.
It'd been a while, but I mean, there was a solid 4 years. I was on an aluminum rim. And I just right away loved it.
Yeah.
And
you definitely feel a difference, but it's not something that you need to take time to get used to.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yep.
We didn't even talk about one of the most important parts, but the price point. These are priced pretty standard for a REMIX hoop, a carbon hoop. I want to say last I checked the website, around $365, $375. That's pretty standard. I mean, with the technology going in, this is a killer deal than some. So if they're all priced the same, I would, for sure. I mean, my biased opinion is going to say get these, but definitely look into just technology. Don't just fall for whatever your bro can get a discount on at the track. Like all the carbon hoops on the market are pretty close to the same, and it's good to find a company that's actually trying to explore. There's just a handful of them out there, but REMIX is definitely one of them. So I would look into more of the technology. Hopefully this video helps a lot. You can actually save a little bit of money. Want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, what's the code again?
Is it Camwood 12? We'll put it in the video, but I think it's Camwood 12, and that saves you
well, I can just say that.
A little off.
You can just cut it out, but
yeah,
and Camwood 12 gets you a discount at checkout with these carbon rims. Like I said, speaking on the durability part, like I ran carbon hoops in the past. I actually have blown out a carbon rim before in my younger years, late in my amateur career, but I have been running these for 6 months at a time. No issues at all. The wheel stays true. I'm very rarely am I playing with spoke and nipple tension, like trying to dial it in. Once I get it set up, I mean, I'm good to go.
Yeah. So. No, you did speak on something that, I mean, I'm a full transparency guy, and I'm gonna I might get a text for this afterwards, but there's been in the past, there was REMIX issues, and it was the second batch, and I had ran them, and I had my personal issues, and I know other people had personal issues, and they were experimenting with different stuff, and that's kind of what you want from a company, is to play with different material usages, different assembly uses. So they were testing something different on the sidewall, better surface for braking. Surface is already pretty good, but just trying to make it one step better. They kind of messed up a little bit in the manufacturing process, and it wasn't perfect, and it didn't hold pressure as good as it should have. The first gen were definitely good. The second gen had that issue that I'm talking about, and those didn't really go out to the market. So REMIX is not really going to put out a product that's going to fail. Those issues that were out there were done by REMIX riders. So you kind of want a product that's being tested. That's my opinion, but just being full transparency, there's not every product going to be perfect, and this one had issues in the past, and the best way to be better is to learn. So they found what was wrong and they improved it. So
no, product development is crucial. I think you put kind of Jonathan's more analytical, I think, about the product itself. I feel like I pride myself in kind of explaining my sensations as a rider, how the product is responding on the track when I'm training, racing, etc., and to kind of like combine our thoughts together, be able to have that input, right, in that communication with REMIX, and then work on developing the product and making it as good as we can. The sport is constantly evolving. Obviously, bike setups, no drastic, crazy changes over the last decade, but things are progressing that way. And you want to be on the best stuff, right? Especially at the highest level of the sport. You want to trust your equipment. You want to know there's people in your corner that are going to put you on the best stuff of the times. And you know, we plan on riding and racing for a lot of years to come. So you want to know and trust that, you know, the product's going to continue to evolve.
And just you just want a good product in general. Like if you're going to spend a lot of money on there, not everybody's going to have the luxury of a pro or top level expert rider where they're getting good discounts or they're getting products for free. So if you're going to put your money into something, you want to put your money into something that lasts. And like I said earlier, just not something that your bro's giving you a discount on. Like, would you rather save $50 for something that might not be the best products out there, or would you rather do a little bit more research and get something that's going to last you? So I think that's a good point to leave on. Cool. Well, we'll hopefully catch you with another one. We definitely have to do more of these. I love to talk bikes, and I know you love to talk a little bit bikes too, and how a bike rides.
I would say I'm not I've never been super intricate about the product itself, but like I said, I could feel like I could write a notebook about how my bike feels when I'm on the track and when I'm racing. So I guess that's kind of my angle where I like to provide rider feedback.
Well, you're a setup guy. You can definitely ride anything as long as it's set up to the way you need.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and I am
you are a big feel guy.
Yeah, and I'm a creature of habit too, right? Like most of other than these rims, my bike really hasn't changed in a long time. Maybe slight intricacies, but this is what I trust. This is what I run. I love this product. I've had no issues at all, and I plan on representing REMIX for years to come. So,
good stuff.